What's up, guys? Today we're going to do some more suspension upgrades for my WRX. So right here I've got Kartboys front and rear Endlink kit. I've got all the hardware. These are the Endlinks, obviously. So I'm going to try to put these on the car before upgrading to aftermarket sway bars. I'm just curious to see if I'll notice any difference with just the Endlinks. So we'll get these installed today. These are a nice kit actually, just because they are in a fixed location. Some of them you do have to adjust with the thread and nut, but these are simplistic. So that's the reason I went with Kartboy. I think they just make really good products. So I'm really excited to get these on the car, give them a try out, and see if we notice any differences. Also, these will support a number of different sway bars, aftermarket sway bars. So we shouldn't have any problems for whatever sway bars I pick out down the road. Alright, let's get these installed on the car. I'm going to start out with the rear Endlinks first. I'm just going to spray them with a little bit of liquid wrench. This bolt for the Endlink is 14 millimeter. One up here is also 14 millimeter. To get this Endlink off, we have to use a Allen wrench, and we put it into the end of the bolt. I'm using a 3/16. It might be 5 millimeter, but I've lost that one, so we're using 3/16. And then we've got the crescent wrench over it right here, so we'll hold our Allen key and loosen the bolt at the same time. Here's a comparison of the OEM Endlink and the new Kartboy Endlink. As you can see right here, the OEM is really thin and the Kartboy is a lot thicker, so that's going to give us a little more stiffness. Also, the new ones, the Kartboys, have polyurethane in here, and the OEM's all rubber, so you can just pretty much move this with your hand and get a bunch of movement there. Not so much with the new Kartboy and the polyurethane bushings. So we'll start off by doing the top part of the Endlink. Feed our new bolt through with a washer on the end. Feed that into the sway bar. Add another thin washer. And then our new nut. And we'll grab our original bolt for the control arm. We need to get the thinner washer facing the front of the car and put that into the bolt before the Endlink. Push the bolt through the Endlink. So now we've got the thicker spacer. This will go in the control arm through the bottom, and on the other side of our Endlink, in between the control arm, and then we can push our bolt all the way through, just like that. And again, this is a 14 millimeter bolt. This will get 40 to 45 foot-pounds of torque, just like this one. These are now 17 millimeter bolts, bolt and nut. Those will get 45 foot-pounds of torque. Alright, so what we have the new bolt provided with Kartboy's kit. We have the first washer, and then we have the Endlink. We have the sway bar, another thin washer, the nut they provided. These are both 17 millimeter. Come down here, and we've got the smaller spacer, or the thinner spacer, on the wall of this control arm. the Endlink, and then the thicker spacer on this side of the control arm. That's the original bolt, original nut. Those are both 14mm. All of these nuts and bolts get 40 to 45 foot-pounds of torque. So we'll repeat this process on the other side, on the driver's side, and then we'll move to the front. Alright, so here's the stock Endlink from the front side. This is a 17mm bolt, or nut. Both of them are. Here's the new Kartboy Endlink right here for a comparison. Right here we have a 6mm Allen wrench that goes into the stock Endlink bolt. If it's spinning on you while you're trying to loosen the nut, you're going to have to use this Allen key. Just leave it in the end like this, get your wrench, and start to back off the nut. This is the 17mm nut. So it comes off just like that, and both sides have that Allen key hole on them. It's a little difficult to show you under the car, so that's why I'm showing you now. So while doing this install, we're trying to make sure this Endlink is not really bent one way or another. So depending on your setup, you might have to position your spacers differently or not use them at all. It really depends on how things are going to line up with your setup. We think this is the optimal way for my setup. So that's what we're going with. That wraps up the install for the front and rear Endlinks from Kartboy. The rear install for the Endlinks was a lot easier than the front. The front, you have more confined space to work with, so it's a little harder to get to the bolts and get them out, put the new ones in, and tighten them. Overall, it wasn't that difficult, but should be interesting to see if these have a little bit of impact. I'm really not expecting too much. They're just Endlinks, but I think once we get the sway bars in there, they're really going to shine, and they're going to complement the sway bars a lot more. So hopefully you guys found this a little helpful or enjoyed it at least. I did enjoy installing these, and as always, I hope to see you guys on the next video.